Welcome into the Sky into I show. Week 5 is here. The Cowboys are traveling to the 0-4 New York Jets at MetLife, where things can be a little bit scary. But we're going to break it all down coming up on today's show. We got to talk about these damn injuries that are happening with the Cowboys. We're going to take a look at this Jets offense. Going to go eye in the sky. So 2 Eyes going to give us her thoughts on what she's seeing, taking us inside this Jets offense. And we got a pressure cooker. We're going to put a couple players or coaches or units under a pressure meter. We want y'all to join us in the chat as well. But I'm Skywalker Steel here, as always, with my wonderful co-host, Aisha Morrison, a.k.a. 2I. What's up?
What's up, man? What's up, man? You mentioned MetLife, and so I'm gonna make sure I let my grandma know to be praying for the ACLs, the Achilles, the ankles, all that stuff, since that place is
They got to do something about that.
dog. How much? It's very, it's very negligent to me, and I know that they did take some time to kind of redo the field a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Well, it's still broken because
Still, bro.
it's still broken. How many more star players do you have to see get injured on this turf? Players have complained about it. Players have gone to the NFLPA and complained about it. Cowboys, like you said, we were gonna go over this injury report. They limping into this game,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
They don't need no more limps, no more boots. It was a lot of boots on the ground
No
this
more
past
Kaiser
weekend.
Sose's, shout out if you get that reference. But yeah, the injuries are piling up in Dallas, man. The report was nasty yesterday.
It's filthy, dog.
It was
It's
nasty,
longer
man.
than
I think they have a total of 17 players on it, but a lot of those players are still on IR or put on IR. But let's
mm-hmm.
kind of tear this thing up. So yesterday's injury report already basically ruled out for this game, did not practice, would be CD Lamb, Tyler Booker, and Malik Hooker.
Yep.
We're understanding kind of going into this week that those guys are going to be missing. The good news is Tyler Booker is out of his boot, and CD Lamb and Tyler Booker have not been put on IR. Same thing for Malik. So you should hope to see these guys in the next few weeks. And I believe Lamb was working on the cords. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty good indication that he's
No
closer
booty.
than not. However, practice windows were opened for a couple players. Cornerback Kalen Carson, wide receiver Jonathan Mingo. And a question I want to pose to you: do you think Carson and Mingo actually have a shot, or this is just we're opening this window to ramp them up? Because by the way, ladies and gentlemen, 21-day practice window does not mean they're on the active roster. It just means they're eligible to be put on the active roster if they pass the eye test from the coaching staff.
In regard to Kaylin Carson, shout out to our girl Nicole Hutchison, beat reporter for the team. She said on Girls Talk Boys Talk that it sounds like he's been ready for a while now, and so I don't know if he is going to get on the field, especially with Reddy Stewart kind of manning that slot spot. Sounds like Trayvon Diggs is going to start, and then you got Bland on the other side. But if anything, you just have depth there. I know me and you were kind of talking a little bit offline about how he could possibly fit the scheme and maybe how he would be able to adjust, but I don't know about that one right there.
Yeah,
Um,
trust I think is the word for him. Do they trust him? And
yeah,
we'll leave it at that.
yeah, and yeah. So,
Jonathan Mingo.
oh yeah, and in regard to Jonathan Mingo, I think there if how do I say this? I feel like Jonathan Mingo could have a role in this offense, but man, with what Ryan Flournoy did last week, I think that might be kind of where the Cowboys stay until it's necessary to bring in Jonathan Mingo. I do think he gives you some physicality on the block end, and he's just a bigger body guy and stuff. But they seem like they have some confidence in Ryan Flournoy right now, so I think that kind of muddied up things a little bit for Mingo.
Yeah, with the injuries to the wide receiver position, which we'll get to here in a second, if
Hmm.
Jonathan Mingo is ready to go, you're probably calling him up. The only thing is he doesn't have to be called up now, and I don't think he would be ready now. If I had to guess,
Exactly.
PCL strain is
Yeah.
it take a month, but then you have to get back out there and gain the trust. I remember a couple weeks ago, Coach Shoddy said something along the lines of, physically it's one thing to be back, but he's like, I have to make sure that he's mentally prepared and ready to go. So
Yeah.
I would, if I had to guess, I would say Mingo is probably another week or two away. And if they can get back a couple of these receivers that are out, there's no need to rush him back because I do think you're seeing Jalen Tolbert kind of start to
Absolutely.
do some good things. Ryan Flournoy, I think, is fitting. Again, I think all of this is possible because you have a guy in George Pickens who has helped stabilize that damn room.
Yeah, I mean, but even in a game like this week where I mean, obviously we're gonna get into it more, but I thought Jeff Kavanaugh made a really good point on Twitter talking about Sauce Gardner following Mike Evans. He expects for like we could possibly see Sauce Gardner
Following
follow George
GP.
Pickens, and if that is the case, then other guys are gonna have to step up, or GP or Dak is just gonna have to keep trusting GP and going at that matchup. I think that's a really good matchup.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. Sauce can be a little handsy and physical, and George Pickens actually welcomes that. So that'll be a
Hmm.
good one.
Hmm.
But the big did not practice yesterday that popped up out of nowhere on us came from actually a little guy. Cavante Turpin has a sprained foot. Oh, anything but a sprained leg injury for a wide receiver. And I'm not sure when it happened, but apparently it happened. And he didn't practice, and it sounds like this is something that could keep him out. We'll monitor it over the next few days. But if I had to guess, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to play this week, which is just huge. I mean, you're already down CD Lamb, and we talked about this last week without CD Lamb, how important Cavante Turpin was, to the point where I believe it was Coach Clayton Adams who said he is the straw that stirs a drink. And when he said that, I was like, whoa. So
Yeah.
now you don't have a Cavante Turpin potentially out there this weekend. Who steps in for him to fill that role? And I don't think it's just a normal wide receiver role. He does so many things for you. And I got a guy that might be playing and getting called up. By the way, Miles Sanders also was limited, and so was Kenneth Murray. But with Miles Sanders limited, Cavante Turpin potentially out, do we finally see running back Jaden Blue
It's about
to
that time.
to
It's about
do
that
some of
time.
those things? Not all the things that Cavante can do, but to do some of them.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, it's just about that time. We've heard Shotty talk about Blue and him having some good practices his last couple weeks and stuff like that. You mentioned Turpin and his usage. Turpin creates spacing as well. He creates a lot of spacing with the motions because people honor the speed that he's able to play with, and it kind of makes me sick that you don't have him this game because I definitely think you could do some things attacking their linebackers and coverage and stuff like that. But
Can I
um,
can I add
go.
on to your point of motion?
Mhm.
There's a play in that game. I want to say it was the best Javante Williams run of the evening. If you go look, Quay Walker completely it jumps out of a gap responsibility because there's motion by Cavante Turpin behind, I believe, both the quarterback and running back. And he just excuse me, he completely follows him, and it opens up that lane for Javante Williams. So yeah, he does things even when he doesn't have the ball that helps your offense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so, his presence is going to be missed. The biggest part, I mean, we can talk about the actual offense, but I care about how he sets up of your offense as well. I mean,
Special
last
teams.
week, yeah, last week he had a huge week in returns. I think he had 165 yards returning in the return game last week, and that was huge for you.
Yeah,
Starting field position is huge. As a matter of fact, he set you up on that last drive to even
45
get,
yarder.
yeah, absolutely. So, who replaces him there is a big deal. Now, I know we can talk about Blue, doing that. How much do the coaches trust him? How much do the coaches trust him to hold on to the ball? How much, like, it's a big responsibility, but if he does get the opportunity, I think that's a great way for him to
Yes.
get comfortable, to gain some trust with the coaches as well. So yeah, man, just a killer injury. But one thing I will say, Sky, looking at the Cowboys schedule this next couple weeks, you going up against teams that struggle offensively. I Even though Turpin is a big part of this offense, do you think that they have enough to make it through, him being out for a couple weeks? I personally believe so, especially with the two defenses you're going up against, three defenses you're going up against, to include Washington struggling against the run.
Yeah,
Do you like,
I
are you
got
gonna
Dak. I
die?
got Dak Prescott. I got Shoddy, and I got Clayton Adams. I
Yeah.
feel confident. I just feel
Yeah.
confident going in. I, dude, I know everything is piling up. We even get to the offensive line, right? Tyler Guyton could
Oh,
potentially be out. Tyler
concussion
Smith
protocol.
just dealing with an injury. Hopefully he'll be good to go. Sounds like they dodged a bullet there, but we could potentially see, Dak having to play with three or four of his starting off. That is massive. There's no doubt about it. But we're Dak is on a different level seeing things. I think Shoddy's setting him up, and I think Clayton Adams is complimenting him with the run game so much better than any time I've ever seen. Sans Bill, that's not even Bill Callahan. Sans what 2016 would be Scott Linehan and
Scott
those
Linehan.
boys. So I think, and he might have been there for that year. I can't remember. But either way, it's been a long time since we've seen this type of run game. So, yeah, I feel like, and you make a good point. If you're going up against offenses that aren't able to put up a lot of points, then you can kind of get away with if your offense isn't going to be as dynamic for 4 quarters. The only problem is
It's the defense.
the defense. Is
Yeah, yeah. Pretty same.
we've seen them give up a lot to teams that were struggling offensively, and we kind of chuckled about it last week. But I said, oh, the Packers struggled against the Browns. All right, that means they're not going to struggle against the Cowboys
Oh
because
my
if you
god.
go look at the trend, all right, let's go see here. Giants struggled the previous week, one off against the Cowboys. The
Mm-hmm.
Bears struggled the previous week, one off against the Cowboys. The Packers struggled the previous week, one off against the Cowboys. The Jets kind of struggled, right? Previous week. We'll see what happens here. Both teams are dealing with different things, though. So we'll see. And Cowboys are getting a little bit more healthier per se on
Mm-hmm.
defense, and whereas the Jets actually just lost a couple players. If you kind of want to give us that rundown there,
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously the big one for them is going to be Braylon Allen, their running back, one of their star running backs, is dealing with. I think he
he
is
tore his
going on.
ACL. He's
He tore
done.
his ACL, so he's going to be on IR. He just got placed on IR today. Also, sorry. Also, to Michael Carter, their cornerback, is in concussion protocol. Jermaine Johnson is the big one, is another big one. Their edge player did not practice as well. So, and even so, they traded for Jarvis Brownlee. He's dealing with he was dealing with an ankle. He was full go yesterday, so we'll see if he is going to be able to get out there and help them out there because that's what they're trying to figure out too. Their cornerback two spot. Obviously, you got Sauce Gardner out there, but opposite of him, it's been a little rough out there, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I would want Dallas to attack if Brownlee can't go. So, like you said, they're dealing with some injuries as well, having some similar issues as the Cowboys as well.
Yeah, we were talking about this behind the scenes. I know this isn't. We're not supposed to be focusing on their defense, but the Cowboys going through a different coordinator, a culture shock in the sense of man team to zone team. Same thing is happening over there in with the Jets. They historically for a while under Salah were a vision based defense, get home with four, don't blitz a lot. Now they're blitzing more. They're not a vision based as much, and they're having struggles. And the Cowboys offense, you got to be able to take advantage of it. Be nice if we had our weapons, man. I think we could put up 40 on these boys. But I think again for the run game, you still have Pickens, you still have Ferg. I think we have enough offensively for the
Yeah.
Cowboys to have some success.
No, I agree. Obviously, you talked about the offensive line as we get in kind of into the matchup. Hoffman and Bass had their fair struggles, had a few struggles last week, but they're going up against an interior that can really play. Obviously, Quentin Williams is a guy that we got a lot of respect for the way he plays the run, how he can get off the ball, and Harrison Phillips is a guy that they brought in this past year. Hoffman and Bass are going to have their hands full. Dealing with that interior pressure and, obviously keeping the quarterback clean. Obviously, Will McDonald's there on there
Will
at the edge,
McDonald.
but the thing about Will McDonald is the same issues that people thought about in the draft is that he's a bit undersized. He struggles to play the run, really good as a pass rusher, but you can attack him on that side in the run game as well. So, yeah, I know we're gonna get into it more. I don't want to cheat. I'll be
Well,
cheating.
not the defense. We're going to get into the offense. So let's head straight into the eye in the sky with two eye
Hmm.
right now and take a look at this Jets offense, which they have a new defensive or offensive coordinator as well.
Hmm.
Someone that Aaron Glenn knows very well from Detroit. And I'm sorry, not Aaron Estring, Tanner
Hmm.
Estrin, who was formerly of the Detroit Lions. I believe he was their pass game coordinator. And in my opinion, I think he's helped Justin Fields along the way in regards to throwing the ball. Now he's not prolific or anything, but he's been very efficient, and that's one of the staples from Detroit over the last few years is being an efficient passer of the football. For me though, in the pass game at least, it's pretty much Wilson or bust with the wide receiver.
Hmm.
He's just out targeting everybody by a massive amount. I think he has 38 targets, and no receiver has more than six. So pass game wise, yes, I think he comes from a good lineage in the sense of the Detroit Lions, and Fields is better, but I don't think Fields is the thrower of the guys we've seen the last few games. But like I said, I'm not putting it past them based off of what we're seeing. But what are you seeing from this Jets offense, Tuai, as we go into the sky here?
Well, obviously their scoring offense ranks 19th in the NFL. They're averaging about 22 points a game. For them, this is a team that wants to run the ball. You can tell that they're very much so trying to protect the quarterback, help the quarterback, all that good stuff. And they're trying to work off some play action things and stuff like that, trying to get him quick reads, easy reads. Their offensive line is constructed as a pretty good offensive line. You know, they got some talent on that
A lot of
offensive
first round
line. Left
picks.
tackled Olu Fashanu. You got Simpson there at left guard, Titman at the right guard spot, where you kind of like initially, if you saw Titman, you like, oh, that's the weak link. No, he's actually been pretty sound. And then Mimbo, who is it Mimbo? I can't, Lord.
Mbow, I believe. I'm sorry.
Mimbao, the right tackle, the rookie that people were really high on this past year, out there for them as well. So as far as blocking it up, they can do that. Um, where they really struggle is exchanges, is blitz pickups, stunts, like communication. They struggle with some of those things, and so I do think that Dallas can take advantage of those things if they can get there. That's the
Right.
thing about the blitzes. That's the thing about the stunts. That's the thing about the stuff. Guys got to play their
Bad
assignment,
at it.
not do what they want to do, and you also got to get there if you are going to blitz or whatever the case may be. So up front, you see them run the ball. I Here's the thing. They are more of a they will try to well, they haven't really been good in the screen game or anything, but it's a copycat league. You got toe up last week.
Yeah.
Swing passes, quick
Hey,
outs.
Chicago too. Remember that
Yeah,
play
like
to
you
Swift?
got tore up with that. And so I'm very curious, especially with this quarterback that's, still trying to get a feel to get some of their wide receivers and stuff in space, maybe even some tight end screens with Mason Taylor. Like, are they going to try to replicate some of the things that people have done to you, really attacking the flats in the intermediate game and making your linebackers have to come up and tackle and making your linebackers have to read? That's something that I'm definitely looking at in this game. They run heavily to the left side. They like to pull Mimbo around and get him and Fashanu out in space and really attack your second level in your corners. How does Dallas deal with that? They haven't dealt with it that well to start the year, to be honest. Especially from the second level. Obviously, one of the biggest things I'm worried about for real though is Justin Fields. And listening to the guys in their interviews yesterday, you heard a lot of them talking about rush contain, rush lane discipline, all
Yeah.
that good stuff. Justin Fields, although he's not a fantastic thrower of the ball, his ability, his athleticism, he will hurt you with his legs. And Dallas, to this point, has struggled with a Caleb Williams on third down, a Jalen Hurts on third down. These mobile quarterbacks that, you can contain them, but when they slip out into the A gap, B gap, or slip out into the C and go get first downs, dog, like that's killer. And so I'm very curious, Sky, and I'll ask you. I know that having a spy kind of changes your defense. But if you were going to have one, who would it be? Number one. And number two, do you think it's necessary in this game?
Maris Leafau would be my spy.
That's me.
I think it might be, but I think about Fields and his legs are the most lethal part of this offense.
I agree.
The difference is from Caleb, from Russ, from Jordan Love, and from
Hmm.
Hurts. All of
Lord
those
have mercy. Not all
quarterbacks,
of them.
yeah, all of those quarterbacks can hurt you with scrambling. All those quarterbacks can hurt you with extending the play, but
Hmm.
none of them run the ball with intent the
Like him.
way that Justin Fields can.
Yeah.
And I think Tanner Estring is going to see this weakness at the second level for the Cowboys defense. And you kind of hit the nail on the head with, misdirection, attacking the second level. The Cowboys haven't been good or consistent there at the linebacker unit. And I think he's going to run a lot of RPO. I think he's going to
Hmm.
run a lot of design runs with him. I know last year the Cowboys faced Justin Fields with an Arthur Smith offense, and he really didn't go off, but he really also wasn't ran a whole lot either in that game. So
Hmm.
what makes this interesting is that those other guys are much better at throwing the ball. Although Hurts, you would probably say, is the worst of the three. But from a
Mhm.
talent standpoint, those other guys can throw the ball. They also weren't guys that were looking to actually run. They were trying to just scramble, get out, make a play with their arm. If nothing's there, then run. Justin Fields will run over your ass intently, or when he scrambles, he's scrambling to take the hell off for not 6 yards, for big plays. He has over
Yeah.
45 rushing yards in every single start this year. That includes one of the games he got knocked out. So, and he had 81 come, off of that the Dolphins game. I think it was 40 something yard touchdown run. So
Mhm.
Justin Fields' legs are definitely concerning because you just don't have the second level play right now to deal with him, and you don't have the discipline up front to deal with him. And as much as I love our interior guys, they do generate pressure more than we've seen in a while, but they're not.
Mhm.
This isn't like Aaron Donald pressure. It's not bang 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 every single time where you're getting 2-3 guys on a Clark or Osa. So they'll get pressure here and there as they're supposed to do, but they're not getting help on the
Yeah.
outside, whether it be from rush contain or whether it be just actually making a play. So I do worry that Justin Fields is just going to drop back, see, oh, Murray, Sanborn, I'm out. I'll just take off and get these 10, 15 yards. So
Mhm.
that's the biggest part of this game offensively for me. I do think they can have a way to limit their passing game because they don't have a lot of other options. And I know that sounds crazy, y'all, because this is the worst pass defense in the league. But if you can't stop, and this is not a knock on Garrett Wilson. He's a fantastic player. But if you just don't put two dudes on him every time, seriously, two guys, because they have no other receiver that has more than 4 receptions.
Yeah. I mean, because Josh Reynolds and because I snooped. I was snooping on Jets Twitter. They are very disappointed in his output. They expected more from him this year. And I will say, and now I know what you're saying about the Garrett Wilson thing, and I think you're 100% correct. However, Mason Taylor is somebody that they
Well,
are.
I said receivers. I ain't get to Taylor
Oh,
yet.
okay.
I
Well,
ain't get to
if
Taylor
you do,
yet. I ain't
okay,
get
and
to
I'm about to
Taylor yet.
say because he can
I
play.
ain't get to Taylor yet. If the receivers, but
Hmm.
going back to the second level,
Hmm.
that's where Mason Taylor comes. Mason Taylor looks like he's going to be a fine tight end in this league who can
Yes,
take advantage of, again, Shamar James, Maris Leafau, I think are your two guys that can probably athletically run with him. I don't think any other two. I know Murray's is athletic, but I don't. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just not seeing
I
what
don't
some
see
people
it.
are seeing with Murray. Trying to
I
defend
don't.
Murray. He's just not a good player. He's never been a consistently good player. Whatever. Though.
I don't
But
see
your
it.
starting linebackers is just not good enough in the run game, not good enough in the pass game, and unless they make a change there, I feel like Justin Fields can take advantage of it in two ways with his legs and with a Mason Taylor. In fact, I think Tanner is probably going to try to do that after seeing how Tucker Kraft got off early in that game.
No, absolutely. Like I expect to see maybe some tight end screens. I expect for them to try to attack in the middle of the field, get some favorable matchups with your linebackers. Another thing too that I noticed, their running backs do not like to pass protect like that. Not saying that Brees Hall doesn't try. He tries,
Not good at
but
it.
not very good at it. And that is where a guy like Maris Leafau to me comes in mind, where it's like blow that where the beat button.
I got
Blow that, blow that
it.
for
Well,
real.
you know what that means? You gotta blitz.
Yeah, that
Yep.
means you're gonna have to blitz, and if you are gonna and again, if you are gonna blitz, Cowboys have not been tackling well at all. You gotta tackle this dude. He's strong. He is fast. Like, and we didn't really talk about. It's so funny because we talking about
Pass game.
Justin Fields. We talking about Brees. Brees Hall can
I
put
was,
put the ball on the ground as well. He can take the air out the ball as well. He's downhill. He will dip his shoulder, run through you. He finishes runs, and
and he
so
has a spark. He's explosive. You
yeah,
know, even
yeah.
with the injury, he can take off.
Yeah,
So
because
they got it. We haven't talked about the run game.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they like to do some things where they're pulling to that left side and really trying to stress wherever your weak side is. They're gonna stress it, and they feel like they're to me from what I saw. I think they feel like they're best when they are pulling their right tackle around and having him and Fashanu get out in space and get up on some of these linebackers and stuff. Simpson has some good movement as well, and so from and you mentioned Mason Taylor. He's fine in the blocking game as well.
He's a good
So
tight end, man.
these defensive ends and these linebackers are also going to have to get off of blocks. My God, I mean, sometimes I'll be sitting here like, Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya.
Easy E had his best game. Like we keep doing this about certain players having a good game, but then the defense is terrible. But he got washed by Musgrave. Just pretty much deboed him and walked him. It said, "Here, let me escort you out the way." And Josh Jacobs scored a touchdown. And I think that was a play where Diggs was like, "Ole!" But
Yeah.
that's going, and that's the thing. That's the downside. Like, yeah, he'll have plays where if he's unattained, if he's not, blocked or what have you, he can usually win that and get home. He has some good plays there. But then you have the play where his size shows up. Smaller guy, Luke Musgrave's like 6'6", 260. You match his size and he just kind of walks him out and you get a touchdown. So you got to get a little bit more consistent up front on the edges.
Well, I mean, and you can tell me it looked different with Clowney in there. I think his length
Oh, I have no
makes
worries with Clowney.
yeah, 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 I think
Yeah.
his length makes a difference, and even
But
with
that
some of
play,
these.
he wasn't in there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So with some of these older guys, some of these older gentlemen, you talk about the know-how and just
Mm-hmm.
reading. And I feel like in a game like this is where you need a defensive end that can read the quarterback, stay square, not get too wide in his stance, and be able to make that kind of sit in that, that zone area and make that quarterback make a decision. Now, with Justin Fields, one thing I noticed is I'm not going to say he's a one read quarterback. I'm going to say that he is still finding comfort in going through his progressions and being comfortable in his progressions. So he has times where if he don't see it, he is looking to start trying to scramble. This is very stressful for a defense. You already got a defense that struggles with communication. When you have a guy that will drop back, doesn't like what he sees, and he gets a jittering and stuff like that, I heard Kenny Clark mention yesterday scramble drill and how important it's going to be. Oh, it wasn't Kenny Clark. It was a Diggs. Was it Diggs or Wanya? One of the DBs mentioned scramble drill and how important it's going to be to not get too caught up in scramble drill as well. Because when these guys are scrambling, if they're in man, their back is turned to the runner.
Which is
They're
rare
gonna
for this team. But
absolutely, but they're gonna have to have the awareness to also see what is going on, behind them. So I'm worried
yeah, we
about
call it
that side of things
the
is
second
him.
route. Yeah, they definitely have to be able to play that. Fortunately for them, again, that's what's interesting about Fields is I think that was more of an issue with Hurts, with Love. Love killed you with that, by the way. With Caleb, because those guys have the arm talent and arrogance and ability. Fields will run. When he breaks, he running, and they got to be ready. And that's where I get worried with the second level. Because
Mhm.
for whatever reason, I agree with what Diggs is saying. We got to be ready. And I think they will be ready for it because I don't think there's enough weapons back there. And I don't think Fields has the same arm talent as those guys to throw off platform and make these freaky plays. And more they play in this zone, in very small increments, they'll eventually get better at it, right? At some point, the tide will freaking turn. Hell, even last year, the Cowboys had a couple good defensive performances. Maybe this could be one in the past department. You're muted here.
Diggs mentioned barnacles. Diggs mentioned yesterday, just the repetition of playing a zone defense. I will say that Josh Reynolds, he does have the awareness to sit in zones. I don't know how effective he's going to be, but I'm just
He
saying
was
it.
effective in Detroit, but boy, not in the Jets right now. He's just an
Um,
afterthought.
yeah. So, I just I don't know. I think it's going to be important for this defense to obviously to stop the run, but it's the mobility of the quarterback that really stresses me because they already struggle with communication. They already struggle with tackling. They already struggle with angles too. Shoot. So I just um
This got to be the week we see them get on the board turnover wise again. This team doesn't throw many picks because that's just Fields doesn't really throw a whole lot of picks, but they
so they
fumble a whole lot. They have 7 turnovers and 6 of them have been fumbles. 3 of them by Justin Fields. We saw one by Braylon Allen. Like go after the rock. These guys don't protect the rock much at all. Go after the rock, get some turnovers, help set your offense up so you can at least get a lead. So now your edge rushers who aren't great, but they can just pin their ears back and not have to worry about the run in this game. In my opinion.
what you say? What you say about their fumbles? Where you find that at?
7 turnovers, 6 fumbles, 3 of them by I believe it's Justin Fields, who fumbled last week, by the way. And Braylon Allen has one, and I don't know who has the other two, but
Thank you for that.
yeah.
I didn't know that I mentioned earlier this week. I mean, when we first started talking about it on Girls Talk, I mentioned like I'm looking for punch outs because we was seeing that in training camp like crazy, and it's like they don't be close enough to do it.
I'm,
Pinch somebody.
it's so funny because look, I know we're going to all get on flus, but we also have to be real that these boys are in a culture shock right now, that they are not comfortable, and we know some things about some of these guys. Just like, hey, I'm just going to do this because that's what I want to do, but it doesn't look anything like what Flus's defense historically looked like, and that's a defense that can get turnovers. If one thing his defense is going to do is get that rock, and the Cowboys have two. No, I'm sorry. One regulation turnover on the season. One in 4 games. That is crazy. But like you said, you got to be around the damn ball to get turnover.
They ain't around. Sounds like they had some extra meetings this week defensively and stuff like that. Like, I mean, hear me out. I think you're gonna have your best secondary players out there as far as Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, and Reddy Stewart. I think that's the best unit you could think of. I don't know, like I'm gonna say this to you, and I'm trying to say it as respectful as I possibly can.
Respectfully, of
I do
course.
not know. I don't give a damn if 57 knows the defense.
Mm.
57 can know all day. 57 is literally getting you like it's that bad
I'll
for
go a
me.
step further. This is perfect. This is perfect. Let's go to our pressure meter. All right. We're gonna play a little game. Cowboys Nation,
Let's get it.
you can play as well. I got a couple. Two eyes gonna shoot me one here. And this is how we're gonna play this thing. Pressure meter from 1 to 5 going into this game. Let us know in the comments, and we'll give you ours as well. Number 1, right off the bat, I have linebackers,
Hmm.
and I would ask you, and I'll give my mines off the bat. Pressure meter 1 to 5. Is there a way I can say 10? Because I feel like this linebacker unit is under immense pressure. Pressure, excuse me. It's been a group that's been inconsistent all year. It's been a
Mhm.
group that hasn't been good in totality, in my opinion, all year. And against this true running threat, like a Justin Fields, like I talked about, he's not just a scrambler. He's a guy that can run, and you're gonna have to tackle. You're gonna have to
Oh,
tackle not just him, but you're gonna have to tackle Brees
Brees
Hall
Hall.
as well. You're gonna have to tackle Mason Taylor as well. And you brought up Sanborn. I'm ready to axe the Sanborn experiment and the Murray experiment. I don't see these guys giving you any pluses out. I'm sorry. Murray had a good game against the Giants. Shouts out to him. Since then, it hasn't been good. And for Sanborn, it's gotten increasingly worse each week. I mean, the dude, he moves out there like, when you're in your sleep, when somebody scary is
You having a
coming to
bad
chase
dream?
you and you're running, you're like, why the hell am I not running faster? I got this running joke now where his mind's telling him yes,
No.
but
Not
his
kidding.
body telling him slow.
Mm-mm. No, I can't laugh at that. Please, Lord. No, I can't laugh.
I'm just saying, like, the dude sees it.
Oh, he sees the
He
plays.
can't get
He
there.
can't get there, and it's so frustrating
It's,
because
and when he
man,
get there, he missed a damn tackle.
how crappy does it have to be like someone who can read like that? Because he's smart. I watched him. I
High
watched
IQ.
him in that Ram practice. I watched him in that Rams practice. I watched him and Marquise Bell going toe to toe with Sean McVay. Like he's trying to trip them up. Like they were calling out. Like he's smart, but he physically cannot get there, and everybody knows it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. And if you think they're not going to come out and attack you here, you got your mind. So for me, I'm at a point too where I would rather, hey, give them a headset. I would rather have the kiddos out there with
And
speed
that's my
making
point.
mistakes. The who's on the so he's on the heater.
I think we need to lean on Maris, Clark, and James. That was my final point. I
Yeah.
would just roll with those three.
Mhm.
And I know they probably not gonna do it because one thing we do know is there are favorites happening here. But I don't think they're gonna do it because Sanborn is a Flus guy, and they also wanted Murray, and he's making $7 million to play this year. But that's just where I would lean into. So I think these linebackers pressure meter for me is 5. Where's yours?
It's about the same. And let me tell you something. With respect, oh, I want to cuss so bad. Do you want to win games or not? Do you want to win games or not? I don't give a damn about your freaking favorites. Do you want to win games or not? You are
Facts.
getting killed at the second level right now. Why would who cares who's getting paid? Like, this is the type of crap that pisses me off because we already talked about what this offense is. If your linebacker core is getting your ass whooped that bad, help your offense.
Help me.
Help. Like, if you're justifying not helping your offense and having them look at you crazy, because don't make a mistake about it. I know Dak is going to be diplomatic and say all the right things. They going to start looking at that side of the ball funny.
I think
It
they
just,
are.
it's, they
I
might
think,
already be doing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So to keep your room together, my guy, I've seen the room where they watch film. You telling me they sitting up there with the big screen on, seeing this foolishness, and you gonna keep suiting these people up? Nah, bro. Like, you also have to think about the morale and the the integrity of the game. And so I understand coaches got their feels and stuff, but dog, do you want to win games or not?
And I wonder
That's
if
what
this
pissed
is.
me off.
I wonder if this is more than a coaching thing.
It is.
Because
It is. It's
these.
it's definitely a trust thing. It's a trust thing.
No, no, no,
But if
no. That's
yo,
a coaching thing. Trust. I'm saying when it comes to playing guys who get paid or who they favor more, we've seen the front office do this.
we've
If
seen it, we've seen
we
it, we've
pay them,
seen
they
it.
got to play them, and it's just like y'all. What, like you said, do you want to win? And I'm not even arguing that Shamar and Maris will fare any better because what we've seen, well, at least for Maris, no, for Shamar didn't play a whole lot, but we've seen Maris make bad plays too. But what I also will
Absolutely.
say is we've seen Maris make good plays last year when he played a lot. And I said this before, and we said this on here. Maris Leofow, you just got to deal with the downs because I think he has more playmaker ability than the other two. He actually
Mhm.
shown that last year. So
Mhm.
at least when he misses, at some point he gonna make up for it with a big play. Shamar James is young. He's green as all hell.
Just
Maybe you
nugget.
don't play him 60 snaps a game, but Clark is experienced. And I
Yes.
know I can't believe we're all saying this because of Damone Clark over the last few years. We're kind of like, eh. But I'd take Clark over Sanborn Murray at this point. Like, put these dudes in there because they're more athletic. I think Damone is actually a higher IQ than Kenneth Murray when it comes to playing the linebacker position. And let them sift through their mistakes because I think they will reward these coaches with some plays being made at some damn point. I
Right.
don't see playmaking ability between Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn. And if you're going to play let me press my button. If you're going to play the politics game, it's going to cost you, and teams are going to attack you.
All right. I got two, but I'm just gonna pick one. Can we do two
You can
each?
do two. That's fine. Yeah.
All right. So Wanya Thomas is starting this week.
Mm.
If indeed, throwing a whole bunch of passes over the top. Now we know Justin Fields ain't about to be doing all of that. But if the secondary looks better or he makes some plays or is Malik Hooker gonna be on a heater?
Oh, so pressure meter for a guy that's not even playing. Huh. That's tough. That's a tough one. So Malik Hooker, that's your question, Malik Hooker?
Yeah, because when we talk about the politics,
Oof.
Malik Hooker knows Fluce's system. He's the person that's supposed to be playing telephone on the second level, but he looked like he didn't pay for his anytime minutes. So
Dang,
if
that
it
depends
does look
on.
better with a Wanye
Yeah,
Thomas,
that depends on that. That depends on that. But let's just go off your example. If Wanye plays well, yeah, I think I will go a 3 for Malik. I won't go too high because it is one game. You want to see consistency. I think if he sits out for multiple games, say 2, 3 games, 4 games, whatever,
mhm.
and you see Juan Ye's back there making play, he has to make plays. I don't think he just be back there. But
No,
if
I
you
don't think
see
he can just
Juan
be
Ye,
back there.
but pass breakups, interceptions, coming down,
But,
filling the
but
alley.
does he? But does he? Because I said on Girls Talk today, We just need people to not run behind you.
Yeah,
Can you do that, brother?
yeah. After, and I hate to say this because the defense was trash, but after that weird play at the beginning of the game, nobody ran behind the defense last week.
Tracking.
Granted, Wanye was in there though, and I think he played well. But I do think that's a low bar. I think definitely because in this defense, the secondary should have opportunities to make plays on the ball. So if he's back there and he's not a difference maker from a playmaking standpoint, and if he's where he needs to be, that's cool too. I'm not, but I don't know if that's enough because I'm not saying that Malik Hooker is the sole reason of this past
Oh
defense
no,
either.
no,
I think these
absolutely
safeties
not.
have not been good. The corners have not been good. The pass rush has not been good. All of it's a mess. But if for me to raise it from a 3 to a 5, I think he has to go out there and make plays.
So it's very contingent,
Yeah.
and that's what I was saying. Is like
But if he does what he's supposed to do, yeah, I think it's a 3. I think okay, he's doing what he's supposed to do. That I think that'll give Malik a shot though. But if he go out there and he
and
shuts
make
all
some
this shit
plays.
down,
Hmm.
that's a 5.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My second guy is going to be Terence Steel.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say the guy I had. All right, cool.
Who? Yeah,
I
my
got you. I
second
got
guy
you
is
after this. I got you.
Terence Steele. How much of a pressure
Hmm.
is Terence Steele under? He just make me sick because you watch him in the run game and you just like, my guy. But some of that, like, he is it's really kind of it'll take you aback how quickly people can beat him off the line of scrimmage. Like how he cannot get hands on guys that quickly. He can recover a little. His feet help him recover a little bit more, but just
For me, it's the power. I think I'm not a pass rusher, but if I go pop on the tape, I don't know how you just don't just speed the power rush this guy uh, every
every
freaking time.
time.
Every freaking time. Outside of Michael Parsons, who has, I mean, he just whooped everybody in that game. I thought he handled Rashawn Gary very well. I was actually shocked because
Oh,
I came
absolutely.
into this game and I told people if you actually go watch that 23 tape playoff game, he played. He was your best offensive lineman, your
I remember.
best in that
I
game.
remember. I
So I
remember.
should have had confidence, but I was like, I don't because I thought our tackles are extremely inconsistent in pass blocking. So I just assumed that'll happen again. But outside of Micah, I thought he handled it very well. But again, I watched and I'm like, why aren't dudes just running down his chest? Well, you're helping him out if you want to play around at the line of scrimmage. And without Jermaine Johnson, because I thought Jermaine Johnson would have, I mean, he did. I think it was Jermaine Johnson who whooped his ass a couple years ago
Yeah,
when they
Will McDonald's not super powerful, but
well,
he is
McDonald's not
speedy off
powerful.
the line. So we'll see how that goes. But
But you got to
yeah, I
make
just
those guys run the hump.
yeah,
So
you got to make him run the oop. Yeah.
exactly. So if you're going to try to beat him upfield, you in my opinion, you gotta set him up upfield and get inside. He's terrible with that. Like he cannot respond inside. And without having a number one guy, I think what they'll see is okay, speed rusher guy over there, chip protection. And if he's getting any help, I think he'll be fine. So in this particular game, from a play standpoint, I think it's actually low. I'll go 2. But from a pressure standpoint, similar to Malik, I'll go 4. And what I mean is Nate Thomas, I think, puts the most pressure on him
Hmm.
more than this pass rush will. This pass rush has been really bad for this Jets team. They're, I think, second worst in pressure percentage. And that's
Hmm.
with being a top 10 blitzing team. Their defensive ends do not have many sacks at all. In fact, Quentin Williams leads them in sacks, similar to Cowboys. So they just not a good pass rushing team. I actually have more confidence. Now, neither were the Bears, and the Bears got pressure, and one of them got a sack on Terrence. But I'll say it's very low for me from a game standpoint. 2,
Oh,
but Nate
I'm
Thomas
tripping.
will give me a 4.
I'm tripping. I thought we were talking about in general, not just the game.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The game.
Oh, the game. Well, barnacles.
That's okay. That's okay. In
Well,
general,
barnacles.
that's why. So in general, I'll go 4.
Hmm.
I'll go 4 because of Nate Thomas. He gives you a real option to replace Terrence Steele. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'll definitely. And you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if they try to rotate a little bit more to see. You know,
Yeah.
wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be shocked.
All right, your
Here's
turn.
mine, and this is
Mine
for
wasn't
the
that
this is
good.
this is for the game. No,
All
no, I thought
right.
those were actually excellent because it gave me something to think about in this game and forward. For this game, pressure cooker, pressure meter. Give me 1 to 5. Dak Prescott is going into this game without possibly 2 of his top 3 receivers. without possibly 3 or 4 of his starting offensive linemen on the road against a desperate team. Bad defense, but we've seen this before. Dak Prescott pressure meter 1 to 5. I actually got 4. And let me tell you why. Your defense is historically bad. I just gave you all the guys he's not playing with. This looks like it's going to be, all right, Dak. It's up to you to go win us the game, buddy.
Oh my
Not
God.
pressure of if you lose, we're going to bench you, or pressure if you lose, you suck. Well, some fans are going to be like that. But literally, pressure of, damn it, we got to go score every time we're out here. That's where we're at right now. So I actually have it as a 4 at a high because of all the players that are out, because of their defense is playing bad. You're on the road. This is a game that's going to be put, I think, on his shoulders on this one.
Oh yeah, I guess I would do more of a 3. I think the run game
Run
is
game
is is
will
is
help
something.
alleviate that pressure.
Yes, because he hasn't had that in a while.
Yeah.
Not an efficient one, not something he can rely upon. So for me, I'm gonna go more with like about a 3. But when you was listing out all the stuff, like he's not gonna have his top wide receiver, he's not gonna have his
Top
sounds
2 of
like
the
old
top
time.
3. Yeah.
Sounds like old times.
Mm-hmm.
Been there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is the thing about Dak Prescott that drives me crazy about people. And I literally was just saying it to somebody the other day. I said, now that you see, like, if you are not involved in the Cowboys' inner doings and stuff, you don't know how much he has elevated these teams. You don't know how much his
Boy.
play has covered up so much of the things that they don't do well over the years. And so I literally just asked someone, like, do you see now? And he was like, yeah, he definitely elevates the team. Good. They
It's so funny.
finally,
I
my
think
God.
Cowboy fans hate him more than other fans and media members do. But two things are happening this year that I just think are hilarious. The national media is coming around to, oh snap, maybe Jerry Jones is not a good general manager,
That was it
and
kind of started
they're
last year, and I
so
was like,
late to the party. It's like, what are
I
we
know
doing
they're
here?
very late.
Very late. And then it's like, oh, I guess Dak Prescott is a good. Yeah. He's been a good. He finally has a coordinator that knows the modern NFL. Okay, he hasn't really had that type of. He has a coordinator that is balanced. And he hasn't been a guy that's been able to walk into an Andy Reid, a Sean McVay,
No,
a Kyle Shanahan, and these guys. He didn't walk into that. He walked in.
no.
No, he wanted to walk into a talented team, no doubt about it. But he walked into, Scott Linehan and Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy and said, "Hey,
Mhm.
it's on you, big boy."
Yeah, and when you talk about everybody wants to, and I'm going on a tangent, but everybody wants to be so like, oh my God, he's amazing at the line of scrimmage.
He
Oh my
been
God, he's a wizard. You know why? You know why? Because his last play caller, not McCarthy, the one before that, put a lot of that on him. Put a lot of, like, I always say that Kellen Moore is the worst and the best thing that happened to Dak Prescott personally, because I feel like Kellen's scheme forced him to really have to read defenses in a way to where now with what Shotty's doing, it's easy mode for him
Let me
because
give a
he
hat
he
tip to John Kitna too here.
oh no, oh
I
absolutely. I've
think
already
Kitna
yeah, I
unlocked
literally said that
his.
to somebody the other day.
I think
Kitna
Kit
was a
unlocked demon time for Dak.
and Mark Sanchez poured into him as well. But I'm talking about the fact that the scheme was so reliant on the quarterback making decisions. Now you get a play caller who does not put it on you to make all of the decisions, but also opens up the playbook for you to be able to make some of those decisions in key moments. He's flourishing. He's getting them in the right place. He's checking into the right stuff because he's been through the fire, dog. He had been through a lot with these different OCs. So for me, I think he's more than capable
Yeah,
because we ain't seen him do it before. But it is, I think if I'm Dallas, I lean heavily on this run game.
got to.
Run play action after that. Bang it in the end zone when you can. Maybe do some RPO in the end zone if
Much
you
better in the
can.
red zone last year. Or last week. I'm sorry. 4 for 5.
Previous weeks,
Obviously,
yeah.
that last one people went back, and even Shoddy said it, but much better than previous week.
Much better, much better. So my meter thing is at a 3 for him. I do think he's under some pressure. You can see that on Sounds of the Sideline. You can
Him being
tell
under
that he
pressure,
understands. You can understand that he understands that
we got to get
they
him.
gotta go score.
Got to go score. That's what I'm
They
saying.
gotta go score.
I'm
So,
saying.
yeah, man.
I would love for him not to have this pressure. I would love for the defense to be like, hey, man, we're shutting them down. They only putting up 17. And that's the thing. At some point, this defense has to turn the tide. The tide will turn us. Even last year, which was a really bad defense, they had games where they held people to 17 points. They held people,
Mhm.
they had those games. This is setting up to be very Pittsburgh Steeler esque in the sense of they only scored 17 points on you after you done
Mhm.
gave up how many damn points the previous 2 weeks and your defense was looking terrible. It wouldn't shock me if we come out. But the problem is this offense isn't good. So, you should go out there and be competitive against this offense. It'd be more concerning if you didn't hold them to sub 20. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And because look what happened last year. Oh, yeah, it went up against the Steelers and the Giants and you played well. But then when you went up against a real ass offense, they dropped 40 something on your head at the crib in the Detroit Lions. So, but we're taking this one game at a time. And if the
Mhm.
defense can alleviate some of that pressure as well as the run game, yeah, then Dak will be fine. I think he'll be fine either way.
Yeah,
But
that's all I'm
I
saying. I
just
think he'll be alright.
I hate having to. All right, four. Go. It's you go. You have to do this for us every single time. Like not even the best quarterbacks in the league should be relying on that every single possession.
No, I agree, and I just think defensively, you gotta reward the offense, and I just think there has to be some like you were saying, like, something has to give, like, they gotta be able to at least, create turnovers. Because remember, with some of those Dan Quinn defenses, they weren't the best against the run.
They got turnovers though.
But they got turnovers. So at least to your point, you brought up the fumbles, make some catalytic plays, give the offense another opportunity to go down and score. Just try to get the ball back in the offense's hands in some way and
Real
try to
quick,
hold up in the red zone.
real
Go
quick
ahead.
defensively, I like for our defense to get back to being a tight run defense too, because last week wasn't the greatest day.
I agree.
That wasn't the greatest day, and I know we're kind of by default we've been like, oh yeah, run defense been good. Actually, it's been very average. It's
Yeah, it's been
starting to
average.
turn into very average, and which we will take. I'll take very average compared to years prior, but I would like to see the run defense turn back up a little bit to where we get to that shutting down Saquon Barkley in the second half type situation.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, a
I
lot of
think
that has to do.
the
Go ahead.
Packers started to run a little bit well. They averaged over 4.5 yards per carry between him and that backup running back. We saw Jacobs have two huge runs in that game. We could
Mhm.
tighten it up a little bit this week. We force Justin Fields out to win the ball game with his arm. So
Yeah,
just quickly on that.
edges and the linebackers are gonna have to
On the
come
way
on
out,
with it.
real quick, we ain't gotta be long with this one. Tomorrow's unsung hero today. Shouts out to Cowher. I love those type of segments he does. Just kind of your unsung hero that can help either win this game or play a major factor in doing well enough to potentially put you in position to win. I got one. Brevin
Go ahead.
Span Ford.
Okay.
Yeah, unsung hero, and it could come from just blocking, being a better. Now he did get somebody, I think it was 55, just put him on his ass last week. But he is your
Mm.
best blocking tight end out there. He's an extra tackle, and you might need an extra tackle given you got a bunch of O line issues up front. But I got this weird feeling we get a Brevin Span Ford tutty this week. I don't know why. I just got a feeling. We finally got some a tight end red zone target, legitimate one to Jake Ferguson. So maybe we get another one to Brevin Spanford. That's my unsung hero for Sunday.
Come on, that would be awesome. Um, I'm gonna be cliche and I'm gonna go with Brock Hoffman. I'm gonna say, the way that he has to,
Boy,
some of these matchups on the
you gotta
interior
put
are
it,
gonna
buddy.
be tough. Yeah, he got a big boy coming, and I just feel like, he just stays ready. It's not always pretty, it's not always
He's a
perfect,
fighter.
but he is definitely a fighter. He's been consistent with whatever it is, like he's consistent whatever they ask him to do, and yeah, he sets a tone, attitude wise for that offensive line. So it's gonna be him for me. I think it's gonna
That's a
be
good
him
one.
for me.
That's a good one
Yeah.
because if we're able to keep the depth of that pocket clean, if he's able to win his more than a fair share against a Quentin Williams, that is an unsung hero. It's been a little struggle a little bit in past department. He's given up about
Mhm.
9 pressures over the last 2 weeks. That's not
Mhm.
great for your center. But if he can knock that down from 4 and 5 of the last few weeks to like 1 or 2, that's an unsung hero, especially because Quentin is like the only guy that can wreck you up front. Love Will McDonald as a pass rusher, but Quentin can do it all. Quentin can do it all. It's a
Yeah,
good
I
one.
mean, and the quarterback is really reading the pressure from the edge as well. Like
Yeah,
I feel like he's reading where to slide
he
and
can
where
deal
to
with
like
that.
step up and think he can get it out. But that interior pressure is something that is going to be a problem. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Good D.
I'm
There
gonna
we
go
go.
with Brock Hoffman.
Good stuff right there.
Mhm.
Great stuff. If you happen to make it this far to the show, Can we get some fire emojis in the chat, man?
Come
I think this was a good
on.
one, man. 2 eye in the sky. We got a couple pressure meter segment I thought was fun and fantastic. Again, want y'all to be active in the chat in regards
Mhm.
to these games we're playing. Let us know who your unsung hero is as well. 2 eye was fantastic as she always is with her breakdowns. We're going to continue to keep doing this no matter what happens for the rest of the year. So make sure y'all stick with us. Big game, big game. I think the Cowboys should get out of here with a victory, but the way the defense been playing, go prove it to me. 1 week at a time. 2 eye. 1 week at a time.
We're gonna pray about it, brother.
Tell grandmama. Tell grandmama.
Hit
All
my
right,
grandma
Cowboys
up.
Nation. We are out. Peace.